Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here with a comparison video between probably the two most viable keyboard phones for a lot of people in 2021. And it may surprise you a little bit because one is the Unihertz Titan Pocket, which is not officially coming out until September. And then there's the BlackBerry KEYone Black Edition. And these two, and I'm going to make another video highlighting the KEY2 later. I've got it right here, so don't worry about that. But the reason that I'm focusing on the KEYone Black Edition is for those loyal AT&T customers who want to use a phone with the physical keyboard. Well, your options are fixed to be really limited once they shut off all the 2G and the 3G, and then you can't use the KEY2 or the KEY2 LE because they don't officially support those on their VoLTE or Voice over LTE network, which leaves you the KEYone. So the KEYone and the Unihertz Titan Pocket's probably not going to work on that either. But these two right here, I think, are representative of the most financially feasible options for people who still want to use a keyboard phone, because on the resale market, the KEY2 and the KEY2 LE prices are just astronomical now. So we're going to take a look at these two phones, talk about them, compare them, do some contrasting stuff, and talk about the feasibility and which one may be right for you in 2021 as we wait on the new BlackBerry 5G from Mobile Mobility, which we haven't heard anything about yet. But before we get into all that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's talk about these two keyboard boys. So a lot of you already know about the good old-fashioned BlackBerry Mobile KEYone. This one right here is the Black Edition. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 625, 4.5-inch 1080p screen. It's got the same camera in it as the original Google Pixel camera. This one wins. This phone definitely has a much better capability for taking pictures and video than the Unihertz Titan Pocket. So if that's a deciding factor for you, definitely buy this one. Now, battery performance. The BlackBerry KEYone has a 3500 milliamp battery. The Unihertz Titan Pocket has a 4000. However, I do feel like this one squeaks out more battery life than the KEYone. One, it's not as dated. I mean, unless you want to pick up one of these new in the box, then you're going to be using probably a used one, and the battery might have some wear and tear on it. And if you've been using it for 4 years now, it's kind of old. So, battery life, I think you're going to find better on the Unihertz Titan Pocket. Also, because of the 720p resolution, it really maximizes the battery life on here. The MediaTek Helio P70 really kind of about on par with the Snapdragon 625, which is over here. But what you get, though, is you get a more modern operating system with the Unihertz Titan. And that's one of the biggest talking points here. The Titan Pocket feels like a much more newer and sophisticated phone. Yes, the BlackBerry KEYone looks a lot more polished, it looks a lot more professional, it looks a lot more enjoyable, and the screen real estate on here is really nice. But it's also using Android 8.1. It has not received a security patch since April of 2019, over 2 years ago, and the capacitive buttons and just using Android 8.1 feels clunky, especially if you're moving over from another phone that's using Android 9 or newer. And I've said this many times over, I really wish that the BlackBerry mobile devices would have been able to get Android 9 or newer. I think it would have really made them more enjoyable. I think it would make them hold up better and would be a more enjoyable experience. And of course, it would be more like the native BlackBerry 10 experience, which was all swipe gesture based and we loved so much. So Unihertz Titan Pocket, this one right here, running Android 11, and it runs it really well. And I've really been enjoying using it. It's so refreshing. This phone feels almost more to me like a BlackBerry than the actual BlackBerry. And I think that's a big nod over here to the Unihertz Titan Pocket because, well, I've got the KEYone right here. I've also got the KEY2. What makes the Unihertz Titan Pocket so special and this one doesn't? Well, the form factor, for one. It feels a lot like an original BlackBerry. This one, to me, never felt very BlackBerry-ish. It felt like they tried to force a BlackBerry keyboard into an Android experience, into an environment that just wasn't natural. It didn't feel like BlackBerry to me, but hey, it's a BlackBerry mobile device. It's got a logo on it, but logos don't always mean everything. So this one right here, yes, it has a nice typing experience. The typing experience is not as good as it is over on the KEYone. The BlackBerry KEYone definitely has a better typing experience. Pressing the keys, it's lighter, it's more tactile, it's more responsive, and it feels, even like as this one is getting broken in, it's still probably about 15-25% more difficult to press the keys than it does on BlackBerry. Also, if you're coming from a BlackBerry, the BlackBerry Mobile KEYone typing experience is going to be much more relatable to you. You can start typing on it instantly and it's going to be just like your old BlackBerry, whereas having to learn the new one, this new keyboard layout, it's a little bit of a brain twister. It kind of throws you off a little bit, and it definitely throws me off bouncing back and forth. They both have the capacitive swiping ability on the keyboard, so you can use your swipe gestures on the keyboard. It's an extension of the screen, the capacitive touch layer, so that's nice. Not really a leg up in either department for either one, but when you look at the screen real estate on one versus the other, if you like to do a lot of browsing, if you like to do a lot of social media, if you like to do a lot of content consumption, then the KEYone is definitely going to be more up your alley. And the speakers, it's kind of a toss-up. I don't really find that either one is otherworldly amazing, but yeah, it's just kind of there. It's kind of a toss-up to me when it comes to the speakers. The camera, like I said, the KEYone is going to have a much better camera, much more sophisticated, much more capabilities than the one on the Titan. And the one on the Titan, I don't know, it's one of those things where I think that they really missed an opportunity. They could have put a much better camera in here. And even at $299, I know the costs are up because they're building limited numbers. They're doing this whole Kickstarter thing. So there are limitations there. I didn't expect the most amazing thing in the world, but it really doesn't feel any improved over the Titan. And it's 2021. I've seen much cheaper phones that have better camera experiences. And it's only got one. It doesn't have a wide angle. It doesn't have the ultra wide. It doesn't have a telephoto, none of that. But of course, neither does the KEYone. It's only got the one on the back, but it's not always about just having one camera. It's about how good the camera lens is, the sensor, and all that other jazz. So the BlackBerry KEYone definitely wins in the camera department. The selfie camera on the KEYone is definitely better than the Unihertz Titan Pocket. So just laying that out there. Screen-wise, I never really found the KEYone screen to be all that great. It always felt kind of like a washed out LCD. It felt like it was lower quality than it should have been. And that was one of the things I really didn't appreciate. I felt like BlackBerry Mobile didn't do the license a lot of justice. I felt like they went cheap in a lot of different areas, and that showed up in the RAM, that showed up in the processor, that showed up in the screen. So yeah, never really was all that impressive. So the one over here, the newer LCD screen on the Titan Pocket, I think actually might be slightly better, but definitely even. Now, when it comes to the image and actually viewing things on the screen, they really do feel about on par. You've got a 1080p resolution over here and a 720p here, but when scaled down to a 3.1 inch screen versus a 4.5, they really feel kind of about the same. But the viewing size is what you're going to have an issue with, because you're going to be looking on a tiny screen versus a not too shabby screen when you factor in that it's got a physical keyboard on it. They both have fingerprint sensors. I think that they're probably about the same when it comes to accuracy. I don't like where this one is at. Of course, it's here in the middle. You've got the big bezel here on the bottom and on the top. I felt like they could have done a better job there. They maximize the bezels a lot better here. Of course, you have one on the bottom, but it has the capacitive touch buttons there. And the fingerprint sensor I felt like was pretty good on the original KEYone. So biometric wise, actually this one has facial recognition, the Titan Pocket. The KEYone does not. So there's a leg up there, but I really don't find it to be that amazing on the Unihertz Titan Pocket. So if you enable it, it's kind of slow. I always gravitate towards actually using the fingerprint sensor, and it usually opens before I even get a chance to use the facial recognition. So it's there, not the greatest in the world, but hey, they tossed it in there. Checkbox for that, they get it. So battery life, I think that the Titan Pocket is better. Processor-wise, I think they're both about the same. When you look at the actual performance characteristics and the benchmarks, they're not that far off from each other. The P70 that's in the Unihertz Titan Pocket is actually a little lower on the clock speed than the KEY2, but it's, I think, maybe more closely aligned with the 625 and the KEYone. The big thing, though, that you're going to notice, the KEYone just feels slower and older. Even though it's a very solid and capable phone, when you use the one in the Titan Pocket, it feels zippier. So day-to-day performance, maybe it's just the operating system, maybe it's just the fluidity of the swipe gestures, maybe it's because it has a more modern operating system that just maybe runs more efficiently. I don't know. But I do enjoy the software experience much better. There's not, well, there is some bloatware, but it doesn't really impact the system performance, whereas the bloatware on the BlackBerry definitely impacts it because it only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. So when you got 4 gigs of RAM and the BlackBerry Android UI takes up so much space, it makes it clunkier, and you run into memory issues definitely more often than the Titan Pocket. I have not run into any with the Titan Pocket. Occasionally I'll run into them with the KEYone. So as far as day-to-day performance, the Unihertz Titan I think is better. When it comes to security, there's a lot of question marks on both of them because this guy, like I said, BlackBerry KEYone, no security patch since April of 2019. The Unihertz Titan Pocket, they're not known for security, but at least it has Android 11, and their most recent security patch is April of 2021, and this is not even fully released yet. This is pre-release software, so there will be a newer one, presumably, once the phone launches in September, and it should still continue to get supported. It will see Android 12. It's going to leave the BlackBerry KEYone in the dust. Now, the biggest thing that I want to talk about here is connectivity. What networks can you use these on, and how well will it work? Well, one thing you do get with the P70 and the Unihertz Titan Pocket, it does have voice over LTE, but the concern is whether it's going to work with AT&T. They likely aren't going to whitelist it, so even though you may want this phone, you may be in the same boat as the KEY2 LE and the KEY2, which it won't work on the AT&T network. I have serious questions as to whether it will, whereas the BlackBerry KEYone will. It is one that is whitelisted, they support it, so the Priv and the KEYone are going to work on AT&T. Now, outside of AT&T, you get a lot more availability. The Titan Pocket will actually work with Verizon if you have an activated SIM and put it in there, just like with the regular Titan. Then when it comes to T-Mobile, both of these are going to work great, but what you're going to get with the Titan Pocket is actually more expanded LTE bands. Neither one of these have 5G, but the P70 has newer network support in it. It covers more bands and it has more frequencies than the KEYone. So in more emerging areas, neither one are going to have band 71. They're not going to have the 600 megahertz spectrum. They're not going to have 5G. So you're not going to have the higher data speeds. You're not going to have the best coverage, especially in rural areas. Inside built-up areas, cities, and established areas where there's been network support for a long time, they should work okay. I don't really have any problems with it, but that's kind of the biggest thing. If you've got AT&T, the KEYone is still going to be your best bet. If you have Verizon or if you're using any other network, the Unihertz Titan Pocket will actually have better connectivity. So those are a lot of the important areas. And then when it comes to entertainment, I think that you can probably see that this guy, the KEYone, is going to be the clear winner. It's better for games. It's better for consuming media. It's better for social media. It's better for watching videos. You get this nice big screen on here. That goes a long way. But if you look at the Unihertz Titan Pocket, it may not necessarily be something that you want to get for watching videos on. And of course, yes, you can watch it. You get picture-in-picture. You can enjoy watching your video on here just fine. And it's a solid device. I've enjoyed using it a lot. So if you don't watch a lot of YouTube, you don't do a lot of social media stuff, you don't play a lot of games on your phone, then you're probably going to like the Titan Pocket just fine, and that won't really be a big winner for the KEYone for you because you just don't care that much. Just like the camera. I've had people say, oh, the camera, it doesn't matter. I don't care if there's a camera there at all. So if you just want something that can snap pictures and do basic video, the Titan Pocket will do it. If you want better quality pictures and video, you're going to want the KEYone. So those are kind of some of the differences between them. We've talked about the network support. We've talked about the battery life. Both of them are going to get you through a day just fine, but the Unihertz Titan Pocket can probably get you closer to 2. Then, gaming multimedia performance, it's going to be the BlackBerry KEYone. When you talk about day-to-day performance, the Titan Pocket runs circles to me around the BlackBerry KEYone. And the keyboard experience, I think, is better still on the BlackBerry. But after using this one for several weeks now, it's very good. It breaks in better than when you first get it, and you get used to it. So, the last thing I want to talk about is price. When it comes to price, I think they're both probably pretty similar. When you look at the BlackBerry KEYone on the resale market, the price hasn't gone through the roof like the KEY2 and the KEY2 LE. This guy right here is going to cost you $299, which I think is a very, very fair price. I think that if you want to pick one up, I think even just to try it out as an enthusiast for keyboards or just as a secondary phone or to use it for business communications and you want to just have a physical keyboard, it's a great option. And then the BlackBerry KEYone looks more sophisticated, it's more lightweight. I think it's more enjoyable to carry and use, and especially the keyboard I think is better. The KEYone keyboard never has been my favorite, but I think it's still better than the one on the Titan Pocket. And of course, if you're a BlackBerry person, you're going to have that ingrained muscle memory from all the years of using a BlackBerry. So, and both of them have the shortcut keys for the short press and the long press. You've got the convenience key on the BlackBerry KEYone, and then you've got the magic key over here on the Unihertz Titan Pocket, along with other programmable buttons as well that are more built out. So you get a lot more features when it comes to multitasking on the Titan Pocket. So there's some give and some take, and there are some areas where each of them excel over the other one, but at the end of the day, you should be able to use both of these moving forward. And this one, the KEYone, you can use with AT&T, whereas the Titan Pocket likely not. But the Titan Pocket is going to give you better network signal and availability and coverage where the KEYone might not. And of course, it is a much newer phone. So when you look at both of them side by side, you look at what they bring to the table, you look at the skill set that they have, you can see that they can both still be appealing for lots of different people. It's just a matter of which one do you prefer, what are you looking to get out of it, and what do you want to try in 2021. We're still waiting to hear from Onward Mobility regarding their new BlackBerry 5G for 2021. The end of June is quickly approaching. I mean, if you watch this 6 months down the line, maybe we'll know more information then. But watching this now, as I'm making this video on the 16th of June, we haven't heard anything. So I'm trying to go and cover some of the options available for people, do some contrast and comparison to talk about different options that you can use with a physical keyboard, highlight some of the benefits and the real-world feasibility if that's something that you want to use in 2021, because there are a lot of phones out in the world right now, and there's very limited options when it comes to keyboard phones. So that's all I got in this video. Hopefully this has been helpful. I know this has been a lot of just staring at me and the magic phones, popping them up and talking about them, but it's a lot of information, a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of experience that I'm trying to pass on here to you guys so you can make an informed decision if you want to get one of these or try them in the year 2021. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.